What do you What do you mean Shannon made you wear a hat?
What do you mean? What I mean? Shannon
What?
made. Oh, I say Shannon. No, she made me wear a hat. I don't.
She forced you.
She forced me to wear a hat for the show.
How bad is your hair? Give me on a scale of 1 to disaster. What are we looking at?
So bad I have to wear a hat.
So bad that your wife was like, "Don't go on camera like that.
No.
Please don't go on camera like that."
That will reflect on me.
People that watch it know who I am, and I'll get text.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
And here at Hate Watching, we pick what hopefully is like a blockbuster movie that was terrible, and then we talk about it. This week, I picked a movie. And
not a blockbuster.
It's not a blockbuster. It's a mystery as to why this movie exists.
Oh yeah,
and it does fit into the it does cover the whole being terrible.
It's definitely terrible, and I will say it's by the same guy that did Deep Blue, right? No, not Deep Blue. Into the Blue.
No,
it's the Paul Walker movie, right?
No, do not tell me that.
I'm pretty sure. I'm almost positive, Dan. I'm almost positive that he did that ocean movie and this ocean movie. And I think he did one more ocean movie. I'm going to look it up, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
That can't be, because that other movie is a great movie. I mean, not a great movie, great. But it's a...
Well, it's got Jessica Alba, so it can't be bad.
It's an entertaining popcorn movie.
100%. And I think that he thought this was going to be, too. I really do.
So the movie we're talking about, and we will be talking about, is called Dark Tide, 2012, an hour and 53 minutes, and this movie is like a low-grade TV movie, starring Halle Berry and no one else.
Yep. I thought I remembered the French guy's name for a second, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so just real quickly, this guy's name is John Stockwell.
Yeah.
First of all, he's also an actor, which I did not realize, nice. But he has acted in such great movies as Top Gun. He plays Cougar.
Do you know who that is?
And a bunch of bullshit. Just a ton of bullshit. But anyhow, what's important here is that he directed Dark Tide in 2012. Yeah. A few years prior, in 2006, he directed Into the Blue with Paul Walker and Jessica Alba.
What?
And a few years before that, Blue Crush, which is also a great ocean movie.
Blue Crush is the one-armed surfer girl?
That is correct.
Which is kind of a classic, feel-good, standard movie.
Let me see. What did he do after this movie? Nothing. He did absolutely nothing. So this may have torpedoed his career.
And this movie takes place. It stars Halle Berry. It's about sharks and the water.
Is it?
Let's rephrase that. This movie stars Halle Berry. It's not about anything, but there are sharks in the ocean.
There are some sharks in it. That's correct. Yeah.
There's also a lot of shots of her face and other characters' face that don't integrate
just really close
with anything else that came before. The whole mise en scene. Where the one thing and the next thing and the next thing. Yeah, they're like really going far. Where this thing is not connected with this shot. Is not connected to the next shot. They're doing that.
It's avant-garde, okay? You just don't understand it, Dan.
It's our brain is supposed to piece together these different
it's
disparate
like a
images.
Picasso painting, all right? Totally unappreciated in its time.
And I mean, Picasso does that. He's like working on this plane in this part of the picture, this plane, moves around.
And then he just puts it all together, and he's like, "There you go, art."
There you go, art. So this movie takes place in South Africa, and I won't say a large percentage of the movie is in Afrikaner or whatever their language is down there, but there's a decent portion of this movie that's in it.
It's a chunk for sure.
So my theory is that some South African producer, maybe group of dudes, produced this movie. They were like, we're going to buy a star, we're going to buy a dude, director,
Yeah.
Our cousin is going to write the script, and then we're going to make this movie. And then, and then you end up with this movie where they probably paid, 90% of the budget to Halle Berry, 10% of the budget to the director, and then had $100,000 to make this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm quickly looking up the writers.
Yeah.
They've done nothing. Ronnie Christensen is one of them. They haven't done anything else worthy of mentioning. Amy Sorley this is the only credit. So you're probably not wrong.
Yeah. They paid somebody like me to write this script, and then they were, not.
Dan, if they wrote you, this script would at least make sense.
There'd be some jokes in it.
There would be some jokes in it. Yeah.
So, I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, we're going to start the movie. This movie has 0% on Rotten Tomatoes, and this is a movie that no one knows even exists, I think.
I didn't know it existed.
No.
That's for sure.
And it said it was also a box office disaster.
Oh, I can imagine. Do you know what the price?
Didn't see the numbers. Didn't see what the budget was, and didn't see how much it didn't make.
I don't really care. Turns out.
So you're starting up the movie, and I'm like, you know what they're gonna do? Start with a voiceover.
But did they?
Yeah, of course they did. Halle Berry comes in. You get some shots of sharks, and then she says,
"That's right." No, I do. It's completely disconnected from the rest of the movie, though. That's why I didn't remember. Okay, go.
In school, they taught you sharks are dangerous, but when you see one, you see that it's perfect. And then there's a thing my mom always told me: that thing that loves you can destroy you. Huh? This not the movie.
It means literally nothing. And then we're just kind of swimming through the ocean, I think, at this point, right? And then we do a cut, and we're in a completely different scene that has nothing to do with anything. And it's like, this is the start of the movie. You don't need the weird voiceover that gives no information for the following movie. There's no backstory I need to know. There's no characters I need to learn. It's just like she's just saying shit to say shit.
A little bit of foreshadowing that there's going to be some possibly thriller aspects to this movie.
Some sort of turmoil, maybe. I just want to say, Dan, that this movie, you can find it for free a bunch of places with ads.
Yeah.
I still bought it.
Oh, yeah.
I just want you to know that.
You bought it on Vudu?
I bought it on Vudu. Congratulations, guys. You got a sale.
I rented it on Amazon because I was like,
oh, okay. They're making money. They're going to get checks in the mail that they haven't seen in 50 years.
They're like, ooh, Dan Goodsell's
Dark Tide, making money.
49 cents rolling in. Yes. How shall we spend it?
Cha-ching. Halle Berry, you're welcome. Get yourself a coffee.
I think she was well paid at the beginning. And
yeah, because she has to have been.
That was the other thing. I looked at her career, and it's not like it's not like the Bruce Willis thing where it's like, he, did the geezer teasers for, a number of years and was doing 3 and 4 a year just to get anything in. Was doing fine, still doing fine.
Yeah, no, she's all right. Even though is this the third or fourth Halle Berry movie we've done on here?
I looked that up too. We've done Catwoman.
Obviously.
We've done there was another one, and then she was in New Year's Eve, and then this is our fourth one. But there was another one that we did with her.
There's definitely another movie we did.
This is her fourth movie, and she is a terrible actress.
Yeah, she is. It's weird.
Yeah, because everybody else, all the bit players, not really terrible actors. They're fine, serviceable, normal actors.
Yeah, and they're where they should be, which is the side roles. You know what I mean? Like no one's there that you're like, oh, that person steals the movie.
Yeah,
but they fit. They're all there, and you feel comfortable with them.
It's like the dude from Stranger Things that played the bad guy in this last one. What's that guy? That's that kid's name.
Yeah. Why can't I remember? Oh man, he plays Arthur. Why can't I remember his name?
Arthur.
Shit, I feel terrible. Yeah, he's in the show Camelot.
Oh,
you never saw Camelot? Man, I loved it. It only lasted one season, but boy, was it good.
Because we did that City of Bones.
Jamie Campbell Bower.
We did that City of Bones movie, and then he'd come on screen, and you're just like, Yes, please.
He shouldn't be here. He should be in some much better movie.
Yeah,
I love that guy. I love him.
You know-
I'm sorry I couldn't remember your name, Jamie. Don't be mad at me.
Yeah, the girl in that movie, you're just like, okay, honey, sit down. Here's a chair.
Okay. Take your shirt back off, Jace. Come on now.
So sunrise at the docks, a boat. Then we have like these really terrible flashbacks to the happy times.
I just want to. That's definitely what the script said, by the way. Sunrise at the docks, a boat, exterior day. All right.
We get some flashbacks to some happier times, even though we're gonna.
Why?
I know we're going right back into happy
Why?
times.
I don't understand. It's over. It's a musical montage. This is, if anything, this is where your voiceover goes. I don't understand what's that. It's just music. We've never met any of these characters. We're just seeing them interact with like happy music on top. I can't even understand what's happening at all.
I think there's like still shots and like short clips too.
Yeah. There's some like they're hugging and smiling, laughing, and there's some just like we're freeze framing. This is bewildering. I've never seen anything like it.
And then we meet them. There's a French dude called the wonderful name of Jeff. Her name is Kate. There's Themba, who's that South African African guy. How do we do that?
You think I know? I do not. I'm not even going near it.
Person of color who is Themba, and he's like the guy that sort of spots her when she's in the water. So he goes down,
I guess so,
lower, and then is supposed to like protect her. And he has like a stick.
Yeah, poker. Yep.
Yeah. And this,
I don't understand it because later, not to, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but later they don't have that role. No. So how important is this role?
Well, the second act, is, that shoestring. They're just like, whatever, don't care.
Whatever, we don't care. Other people's lives are at stake. No big deal.
So the French guy's making a video of her. She's a free diver, and then she goes down and swims with sharks. Yeah. And we hear some stuff about how she's got to get in the power position, which is under the shark, and swim there. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting.
Sure.
There's really kind of no part where she really swims with the sharks in this whole movie exactly, right? She swims in the vicinity of them, but never does she get under a shark and swim under it in some way to sort of have dominance over it.
Well, she does. She goes underneath and like touches their bellies. Is that what she means?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't even understand. I don't believe anything she's saying. Let me just say that.
At one point, she touches a shark's nose, and she's like, if you touch the nose, he can feel your heartbeat, and he knows if you're freaking out.
Scared? Yeah. What?
I don't know about that.
I don't know either. It throws out a couple of things about sharks that I just can't dispute, but doesn't feel right.
Yeah, like how are you going to test for whether or not a shark knows that you're
feeling your heartbeat?
How does that work?
I don't know, Dan.
There's a lot of steps. Maybe there might be a shark researcher watching this show. Chime in with a little bit of shark research.
Please send us a YouTube link of how they discovered this. I would love to hear about it.
So the guy color Themba, it's his last day for,
of course,
no real reason, and so we're like, oh, that's not a good sign for you, bro.
Dead. You're dead. You're dead. I don't know you for nothing, but you're dead.
And she's like sort of pranking, and the French dude's like, we need to get the shot. We need to make it the video. Hey.
Hold on. We need to make it the video. He sounds a little Italian there. Dan, I just want to talk about their relationship really quickly. Her and Themba.
Oh, Themba.
Because they're kind of flirty a little bit. Like she's, first of all, she's very weird in this movie. She's very touchy-feely for no reason she's not a human. But here's what happened. They're like talking, and he's like, I've always considered you a daughter to me.
Yeah.
And then 2 seconds later, she's grabbing her ass at him and like trying to get her to spank her or something like that. And I was like, what? He just said you're his daughter. And you're like, yeah, daddy, check out my ass. I don't understand anything that's happening.
And she's married to Jeff, right?
She's married to Jeff, but they definitely have some threesomes. I'm just throwing that out there.
Is there any?
But he's married to the lady later in the movie, right?
He's married to the lady in the shack. Yeah,
I don't understand
that's
anything.
his wife, and she is mentioned. Does Jeff and Hallie's interaction seem anything like a married couple at this beginning section?
It feels the opposite of me. It feels like they're just it feels to me like they don't even like each other that much. He just wants to get the shit done, and she's being I'm goofy.
Yeah, so and
he's getting annoyed.
He's getting annoyed because he wants to get the shot. So finally, they've got a shark. It's a big male, and then she's like, it's too aggressive. Then they have a second shark, which is female. And then she goes in.
Apparently, it's less aggressive. Hold on 1 second. Right before she goes in, she's giving the spiel to the camera.
No.
And she's boasting about how many dives she's done. And she says, I've done, 50 dives? That doesn't feel like a lot, right? Is that a lot of dives? Can someone tell me if that's a lot of dives? Because I'll tell you right now, they say, 10,000 hours is how you get good at something? 50 dives, maybe 50 hours. Probably not. Probably 25 hours. They're probably doing 30-minute dives because they got to reload cameras and tanks. It doesn't sound like she's very good at it.
I mean, if they're making a movie, they're out there every day. And she's
right. So she's only been at it for a couple of months.
Yeah, and this,
I don't know.
She talks, the dog is angry we had the plumber come.
Because he doesn't understand the 50 dives either.
The dog does not. It's a female dog.
Sorry, did I say he?
Yeah.
Forgive me.
No.
Forgive me.
Whatever.
She's a sweet baby.
I don't even know what sex your dog is. I'm an idiot. I know you have a male cat, don't I?
I got 2 male cats.
Oh, you have 2 cats? I know you have 2 cats. Shannon, what? We're doing a show. You just watch. What? What?
She's not. She's a spectator.
She's working, so if that doesn't bother you, whatever.
Oh God!
How dare you? How dare you be kind?
Okay.
So mad.
So she goes in the water, and immediately I'm like, "Oh man!" Once you go in the water, I get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then
you're supposed to.
And then it lasts for about maybe the next sort of 3 to 5 minutes, and then never more in this movie am I uncomfortable in the water because I never know what's going on.
Yeah, you can't tell what's happening in their underwater shots. There doesn't seem, even when the guy gets eaten, spoiler alert, he's about to get eaten. I never feel nervous about it. I'm never like, oh shit, he's gonna get eaten. And he got eaten. I'm just watching. Is like, well, yeah, he got eaten. I don't care.
You have to set up suspense. Suspense.
You have to try.
Suspense is a thing that you have to know what the hell you're doing as a director. It's about showing. It's about mixing shots together. Where you're like, here comes the shark's nose. Here comes this guy who's presenting his ass to the shark. The shark bites his ass off. Or whatever happens.
Bites his ass off. That's a movie I want to see.
This movie, since all the shark shots are real, which is great and interesting.
Yep.
But
it's cool.
But when it comes to the shark attacks, we just sort of shake the camera around and then have a dark form sort of move towards the camera.
Yeah.
And we never see anything.
Yep.
Jaws had its big dumb robotic shark, which kind of looks like a big dumb robotic shark in a lot of the scenes, but
still works.
It still works. You're like,
still works.
I'm still terrified because that there could be a shark that could do that.
Amen to that.
Yeah. So the shark attacks Themba and chomps him.
Now, but why? You know what I mean?
Because
there's never sure, and that's kind of what I got from it. It's just like, shark, which to me is it's not like he made a mistake.
No,
it was just kind of like he was there, and then the shark was like, "Nah, I'm gonna eat you," which is probably what sharks do. I don't know, but that doesn't build any tension in the movie. Nope. It's just like, okay, well, maybe don't fuck around with sharks, guys.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's an outcome you're going to have at a fairly regular rate if you're going in with sharks. Somebody's going to get killed.
But they don't feel that way.
No.
That's what's weird. I don't know. She's shocked. I don't understand anything that's happening in this movie.
And so I think Jeff sort of gets attacked too, maybe, and then they sort of get in the...
Hard to be sure, yeah.
Then they sort of get in the boat, and then you're like, well, that's the end of Act 1.
Yeah, and then it's just, we don't deal with it at all. We just We just fast forward.
We just go right on. It's interesting. Friend of the show, Todd, is working on writing a movie, and we're sort of talking about the transition from Act 1 to Act 2, and in like a Rambo-y kind of movie, he has his trauma in one. And then the beginning of Act 2 is, the call to action that occurs when the helicopter comes down and they unload and they say, your colonel is missing. And he's all like, tormented. I don't know that I've ever seen.
I'm tormented.
I don't know if I've ever seen Rambo, but they've done that in so many different movies.
Sure.
It becomes like a trope. So we really need to see her in this beginning of Act 2 being traumatized and having suffered trauma. Tony, is she?
No, we fast forward through it. I'm sure at one point she was. Now she's just like back on the water doing SEAL tours or some shit. I don't care. I don't care what you're doing. She's joking around with the dead guy's wife. That's so weird to me.
There's no shame involved in it. He doesn't have to go see this woman and she shames him out. That's what a movie would do. Yeah. Is you have to go to see the wife on the anniversary, or you run into her at the graveside and she like gives Halle Berry all this shit.
But the opposite happens in this movie. At one point, Halle Berry's upset, and the widow is like, "Hey, don't worry about it.
It's just
he made his own choices. You're fine." Which is very stupid. Very, very stupid.
I mean, when you really think about it, it's like that's maybe the way real life is, where you don't,
maybe,
in some cases, you're not going to totally vibe a person out for the rest of existence, for what he chose to do. But in a movie, we exist in like a heightened world.
Yeah. And there needs to be consequences.
Every nerdy kid that goes to school in a movie is going to be bullied. That scene,
100%.
I hate that scene, but that's you're going to get that scene in every movie.
Yeah, you need it. Builds character.
Well, if you need it,
movies and real life. Here we go.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, babe.
Okay. So she is a marine tour lady, but she doesn't take you looking for sharks. She only takes you out to Seal Island to look at seals.
Which is, later they say where a ton of sharks are. So it's very confusing to me.
And more importantly, what does she care if she drives next to a shark?
Yeah, she's not getting in swimming with it.
I really expected this whole movie is like you'd pull up and she'd see a shark out of the side of the thing and she, it'd be like, but it's like, nah, once she starts dealing with sharks, she's just like, that's fine.
She's like, oh yeah, no, I remember sharks. They're great. I love sharks. I don't know, man. This movie doesn't make any sense.
The bank's going to take her boat, but Jeff called.
Yeah.
Jeff called. Jeff's been gone, supposedly, so he has called.
But they're still married. I don't understand their relationship.
Still married. She takes a tour out, just has 3 customers, and then Jeff just like, I'm not a customer too, which I don't think he paid.
I'm getting as a boat. That was my French guy.
They see a right whale. They see penguins.
Which are adorable, by the way.
One of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life was I went to the Galapagos Islands. And while I was at the Galapagos Islands, you take a little boat around to all the different Galapagos Islands. Yeah. One of the islands, boom, penguins swimming in the wild.
Penguin Island.
Great, one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. Penguins in the wild.
I would love to see that. That sounds amazing. Just on a related note, similar to your story, except for it didn't happen to me, it happened on TV, and it's wonderful. In one of the seasons of Love Island, one of the dates is they go to a penguin island, and they have a picnic surrounded by penguins. They're like, this is the greatest date I've ever seen in my life. So it's the exact same story you had.
So basically, you saw horrible people get to do what I've actually done in my life.
That's correct.
You're jealous
so we're similar.
People.
We're the same. I'm always jealous of these horrible people. Damn.
I've lived my life. You've only watched some TV.
That's basically, that'll be on my headstone when I die.
And the sad thing is I've lived about like 1% of my life. You've lived somehow even less than that. How sad is that for you?
It's pretty sad. But listen, I've got a good 5-6 years left, so I'll make up for it.
You can still live your life, Tony, but you're not going to because
I'm not gonna. That sounds like a lot of work.
Because Strawhead Pizza is waiting.
Oh yeah.
So they see a right whale, they see penguins, and they see the seals. Somebody says she looks hot. Who looks hot? The kid? Does a kid say that Halle Berry looks hot? I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. I disagree, kid.
She's not that sexy in this movie.
Well, no, because she's not good.
Oh, she looks fine, but she's
she's Halle Berry.
There's nothing for her to sort of be into. Yeah.
So there's nothing for anyone to do in this movie? Yeah.
They get back and they put the boat into dry dock because it's all fucked up.
Yeah, they seem to have a lot of problems with this boat that they're trying to not let the bank take. But honestly, just get rid of it. Get a new boat.
And then Jeff says he's sorry. They sort of unpack the past a little bit. She's sort of angry about things because he's like dating people even though she's cut him off, which, like, why are you angry at him for dating young girls if you're the one that cut him off? And
I also don't understand why I don't understand their relationship at all. Do they explain why they're not still together? It's just because they got upset with each other after the guy died.
I don't know.
Something.
There wasn't a, it's like if he'd have like forced her to go in when it was dangerous and then Themba died, you're like, okay.
Sure. Yeah, great.
Because in a little while, she accuses him of only caring about wanting money.
Money, yeah, which is, this is the first time that's happened.
We never see him wanting money, right?
Yeah, other than like this rich guy that he's on the boat with now.
Yeah.
Which isn't even for him. He's giving her all the money.
Yeah.
Dan, I really don't understand the movie.
Well, because there's not even a villain. They don't. Yeah. Jeff should be a guy that comes around like, I only care about making this video, and then when the video, and now I care about you and I'm willing to sacrifice the video and everything. I dropped my camera with the great footage into the sea and it's lost forever.
To save your life. Yeah,
okay,
great.
Let's do something like that.
That's great, Dan. That doesn't happen. Also, the only villain in this movie ends up being Halle Berry, I would argue.
Yes, I agree.
She gets everybody killed.
She gets everybody killed for literally no reason.
Just because she's upset. Just because she's an emotional person and she gets upset.
She gets overly emotional, which we also don't set that up in her either.
Not even a little bit. She's even keeled for most of the movie, and then all of a sudden she just flips out. Kills everybody.
So, so they sort of get angry, and but then he's like, I'm here to help. There's a job offer, and then they argue about money, and then she drives off listening to music. I will drive and listen to music.
Listen, that's how I drive off, too. I always listen to music.
And while she's doing that, she thinks of the good times.
Which are the times we just saw 7 minutes ago. It's reused footage. This is one of my least favorite things that movies do. They just give you memories of the times that you saw happen previously in this movie. Listen, if it's like the end of the movie and someone dies and you're thinking back to the beginning of the movie and it's been about an hour since I've seen it, fine. I'll let it slide. This is 8 minutes later. I just saw all this happen. Give me either something new, a new memory, or don't do it at all.
So she drives off to the big lunch meeting with the rich guy. Did she agree to go to the lunch meeting with the rich guy?
Nah, it's just, you just assume that she did. You don't need to see all the haggling.
Yeah, because you usually have to have that sort of call to action where she's like, no, and then the phone rings and it's the bank and they're like, $100 million, or something.
What is this, deal or no deal? The banker calls.
Oh, the banker. So she goes to meet with this dude. I think he's British, right?
I mean, he's got an accent of some sort.
Yeah, I think he's British and has to fly back to England soonish, and so
got to go back to London. Show me some sharks.
He's done everything, including like climbing Everest and whatever, and so he's
just left a dude dead on Everest.
Hold on, no spoilers. No spoilers.
Sorry.
Oh yeah,
no spoilers. Shoot.
BTW. There will be spoilers in this review.
I've already spoiled almost everything, so my bad, everybody.
So he wants to go in with the sharks. He's heard she's the only one that knows how to do this.
With no cage. That's important. No cage.
She's the only one who can do this because she has this big reputation that we've never seen. We never have heard about her having to help someone.
She's only done 50 dives. Let's keep that in mind. She's somehow famous, but she's only done 50 dives total.
He wants a memorable weekend. He has like a son.
Who doesn't?
And she's like, it takes 100 years to learn this. And he's like, well, give us a crash course in the weekend.
And she's only done 50 dives. So when did she learn it? Just saying.
He's going to pay her $100K. And right now he's having her boat fixed.
Yeah. Just throw him in the ocean with the sharks. Who cares?
Then in a bit of synchronicity, the dude is like, something, something, something happened to me. And I had to be rescued by James Cameron.
Right. I don't remember the story.
They knew that we were going to be doing this after Avatar 2. And they put this line in there. It's just like,
for us.
This is like a cosmic Easter egg for us.
Just for this show, though. That's good. I wish I remembered the story. All I remember is name dropping James Cameron.
Something.
I don't know.
He was in like the Marianas Trench or something, and something happened.
Oh, great band. Love that band.
And then she's like, this is the wrong time of year. This is mating season. And then she's like, I'm putting the money in your bank account because I have money. And then the dad and the kid fight.
Wait, hold on. You missed one of the best lines in the movie.
I do not believe that. I do not believe that because
no.
Any line I wrote down was just a plot line, and none of them were good lines. There was not a good line in this movie.
No. It's when she says it's mating season, and he says something. I wrote it down and I can't find it, but he says something to the effect of, I'm not trying to fuck the shark. I'm just trying to swim with it. And I was like, the shark doesn't know that, guy. That's the point. The shark is trying to fuck, not you. It's not your mating season, you idiot.
And you got to watch out for those male sharks because they have the double penis.
Is that true? They got double P's?
They told us this in the movie.
Oh, on the fins, there's double P's on the fins or something like that.
Yeah.
You're right. That she says that at one point. That's how she knows it's a male.
I don't know what that means. They didn't show us a picture, but
oh, Dan, I'll show you a picture. I got these double P's right
Tony,
here for you.
I don't want to know why you're going to go to jail.
Also, hold on.
Yeah.
One thing in their meeting.
Yeah.
They're ordering drinks.
Yeah.
And this is just. It's nothing to do with the movie necessarily. It's just bad writing, and bad writing annoys me.
Yeah.
She orders a hot tea. Full stop.
Hottie?
Just hot tea. She's like, yeah, I'll have a hot tea. What kind of tea? You think there's just one kind of tea? Just hot or cold tea? That's incorrect. Listen, there's a couple of things in here that are so generic that it's just somebody that doesn't have the time. It's like placeholders. They're like, oh, I'll go back and fill this detail in later. And then they just don't. At one point, she's talking about the sharks. I don't remember where this is.
Yeah.
But she's like, you just have to listen to the sharks and they'll teach you everything you need to know. What does that mean, Dan?
I don't know.
What does that mean? How do I listen to a shark, and what is it going to teach me? It's not going to teach me it's a shark. It's going to eat me. End of story. I don't know. It's just very strange.
I understand what she's saying. She should be like, as a person who's got 50 dives under their belt.
give or take 50, right around 50.
I could see, like when he flicks his tail 7 times, I'm like, oh, that means he's a horny shark.
Oh yeah, he's got those 2 P's ready to go.
6 times means he's wants to eat sea lion. 4 times means he wants to eat penguin. 1 time means only human meat for me. So yeah,
I don't know.
So then Jeff texts the rich guy and's like, just send her the money and she will do the thing.
Yeah, just get it. What is it? He's like, I'll talk her into it. Let's just get on the water or something. What a snake, this guy.
If you can get her on the boat, we should get what we want. You're like, oh, geez, he's the bad guy. Well,
not really, though.
And then he's like talking to her afterwards, and he's like, oh, we can now start the movie again. We will call it Mysteries of the Deep. And then he's like, no, People of the Deep. No, the Deep of the Deep.
I believe it's at this point, because this is when they're walking to her car, right?
Yeah.
She has lost her voice.
What do you mean?
She's completely lost her voice. Her voice is gone. From being in the restaurant, she's talking fine, to this next scene, she can barely speak. She's like talking like this. Her voice is totally gone. And I understand that things happen. You know what I mean? Like, you have to keep filming. Maybe she's sick. Maybe they filmed a scene where she's yelling at him on the boat. and she lost her voice, but they're like, we got to shoot this scene today. We don't have a choice. ADR it, guys, because it's ridiculous to watch her talk just fine, and then 8 seconds later, she can't even say a word.
Is it expensive to do ADR, Tony?
It's very expensive, and it's hard to do. That's the key. It's mostly hard to do because it sounds like you're doing ADR. It's hard to make someone in a vocal booth sound like they're not in a vocal booth.
I mean, the point probably also is she probably did not give them time later.
Yeah. That's probably true.
She probably
we're wrapped. I'm getting the fuck out of here.
These 6 weeks you got me for, those are the 6 weeks. I'm not.
I don't think they had 6 weeks, Dan. I think that's very generous.
3.2 weeks. Okay, now we get my favorite scene of the movie.
Oh wow. Okay.
And by saying that, I'm being completely facetious because these 3 guys drive down to the coast.
Oh, that's right.
They get in the water, and I'm like, oh, here it is. Here's the plot. These guys are going to try to kill the rich dude, and we're going to have this whole thing where things like spiral out of control. Nope, these guys just swim out there, get some illegal abalones, and then...
What is it? What are they getting?
Abalone.
What is that? Is it like
abalone
coral?
It's a shell.
Okay.
And abalone is really nice because it's sort of metallic crystal, but like rainbow metallic look. It's really pretty, really pretty.
It sounds cool. As someone who has no idea what you just said, this scene makes even less sense than I think it does for other people.
Yeah, and it's like one of those kind of things you poach from places, you probably aren't supposed to be taking.
And it's apparently illegal because they're doing it at night and worried about getting caught. Yeah.
And we even have like the good guys come up on their truck is like, oh, they're probably abalone poachers. The 3 dudes go out there, and then 2 of the dudes just ditch their buddy. Just like,
just leave him behind.
Good luck in the shark area.
But what
you're going to die.
Is he keeps, and it's about 5 minutes of him being like, guys, wait up, slow down, guys, wait up, slow down. But because swimming takes so long, like he's doing it for 5 minutes. Just swim harder, guy. Just swim harder. Your friends are there.
Wait, help me. Wait up, guys. Hey, wait up. Come on, guys, wait up.
And it just keeps going because they're just paddling away.
It's so mean. And it's like the scene takes place at night in the dark.
Yeah.
You can't see anything.
They got flashlights, which is cool. I really wanted to see his flashlight just floating, like in a sea of red at the end. You know what I mean? Like that would have been a cool shot.
We watched Jaws 3D, and it's a better movie than this movie.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
And what do you mean, I bet? We did. It's not
Wait,
I bet.
We did?
Yes, in the show.
You're right, we did. We did, absolutely. That's right. Dennis Quaid's in that bad boy. Took a second.
Was he the one that, it was like his first movie? Oh, that was the one where he was like hopped up on the most cocaine known to man.
So many drugs during that movie. That scene in the kitchen...
Is he just like freaking out?
He was like, I can't remember exactly what was happening, but something with his dog. He was feeding the dog and some weird shit was going on. I don't know. It was a crazy scene. We should go back and rewatch that.
We should rewatch that scene. It was a good scene.
Anyhow, Dan, so back to this scene. Why is it in this movie?
I have no idea.
It has no bearing on anything before or after.
You're thinking maybe, oh, well, this is where we're going to introduce the Jaws-like shark. And there's a particular shark that's causing problems.
A bunch of people. Yeah.
No,
not at all.
We also do that earlier on where there's like there's a news story with like a 7th person murdered by the shark. And I'm like, oh, that's what the story is. They're going to call her in there because she's going to have to go and like, convince the shark to leave town or something. I don't know.
We need you to go talk to this shark. He's acting up. Go calm him down.
Nope.
Tell him he's being a naughty boy.
And then this thing just ends. And you're just like, it's never mentioned again and it doesn't mean anything.
Never again. Nobody brings it up on a newscast later. That's how they tend to do the things in this movie. But nothing. Nothing at all.
So the next day they load up the boat. Rich guy's trying to smoke. And then they yell at each other about smoking.
Which is like, very confusing.
It's a very weird conflict. And they like also say they're thinking about loading like tanks, oxygen tanks. They're like, oh, they're not going to need those. And then they use oxygen tanks the whole movie.
Well, yeah, because you need them. I don't know if you've ever been underwater, Dan, but to breathe, you need an oxygen tank.
It's very weird. Then they've got beers, and then one of the nice one thing you will say about this movie is some of the exterior footage, especially of the sharks, and then of the things, amazing.
Yeah,
just some great, beautiful footage.
Yeah, and then he was like, "I'll just build a movie around this."
So the dolphins are there. Then they get off of Seal Island. The dude's gonna go in the cage. Then we got a 25-minute scene where they talk about this camera.
I don't even remember this.
The
Canon 5D. No, I do remember this. Oh, man, that thing must have been just coming out. Canon put so much money into this movie, just be like, talk about our product for a while. Oh, it's so funny. The Canon 5D. I've got a 5D.
It's a good camera.
Yeah, it's a great camera. Yeah, very sturdy, very reliable. It's mostly a stills camera. Obviously, you're not going to shoot any video with it because
I'm
difficult.
bored as fuck.
Wow, Dan.
And this movie does that for like 5 minutes. It's so boring.
I'm telling you, I don't know what year the 5D came out, but it must have been brand new, and Canon really wanted to push it because it's a good camera, but it's not. I mean, who gives a shit, right? This guy's like, I've been wanting to look at this camera for a very long time. It's so good. What are you talking about, man?
Then the dad is a dick some more. He does this a lot.
Yeah.
Kate and Jeff talk old times. He puts the moves on her, and then she's like, "Where's your wedding ring?" And then he's like, "I sold it." And then boom.
Oui, I sold it. Yes.
Incoming. Here's a 3-meter shark. Guy shark. Let's do it. She gets in the water. Jeff goes in the water. The rich people are in the cage, dad and things. They're in the kelp. There's no shark. They're swimming with seals. Swimming with seals shots were beyond. There was some of them that were beyond beautiful.
Yeah, because the good news is you can probably swim with a seal without getting murdered. So it's a little bit easier to get good footage, maybe. I don't know.
Now, does a seal attack her face?
Yeah, for sure. Like it's one like comes right at it with its mouth open, right? Or headbutts her or something. Something happens. I can't totally tell what it is, but she gets hit in the face.
And she doesn't go up and say something to the... There's also a dude that drives the boat who has a name, which I don't have his name right here in front of me. Yeah.
Cool James. Cool Greg. Yeah.
Cool Greg. She should swim up there and say to him, I got attacked by a seal, but he was just being territorial. I'm going to stop waving my hands in this certain way, and then he'll be less territorial. Then I can go back down. She just goes right back to swimming with all these seals.
Yeah. Yep.
Not a care in the world. She just got attacked by a wild animal.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. I think that just happened on accident, and they're like, let's just keep it in. That's pretty cool. People are going to love it.
And then the rich guys want out of the cage, but there's no shark, so they just decide to leave.
Yeah, because it's pretty boring there.
Pretty boring. And I dropped my notes, so I don't know what's happening.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
Well, let's just talk about, do they kiss when he tells her he sold the ring?
No, not yet.
Okay,
he tries to kiss her.
He tries to kiss her. Okay, yeah. I don't know. It's all weird.
So now they're going to tow this little black decoy to try and attract sharks, and then they attract the shark, and then the shark kind of breaches and eats. I dropped my notes again. Damn it.
Boy, Dan, you got to get your shit together today.
The shark, boom, gets the seal. The kid gets the shot. They drop anchor.
This was cool. This is when the shark grabs it and jumps out of the water, right?
It's called breaching.
He breaches. I mean, that was pretty cool. I don't know. That would be worth the tour alone, I think.
That is a good shot. That is not a shot you get very often where a shark murders a seal.
Yeah, pretty dope. I mean, it's sad because he's, murdered. But pretty cool. Pretty cool.
So they're like, okay, drop anchor, and we're going to try to find the shark.
Now, is this where they get dressed? Is this the 4-minute montage of them getting dressed?
You mean the 12th time? Is this the 11th time or the 12th time that we watched them putting on wetsuits?
Yeah, but this one is to horror music. I don't know if you noticed that, but it's like... Dan, 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 as if we're building tension with them putting on swimsuits. It was very funny to me.
I think so, because Jeff sort of mentions visibility.
Yeah. Yep.
And then Jeff says, I'm worried. And then she kisses him for an unknowable reason.
Because their relationship doesn't make any sense in this movie.
The kid and the dad are fighting. The dad is like forcing the kids
to go back in the water
through the wetsuit. They have this giant fight
over that's
putting
right.
a kid in a wetsuit. It's the weirdest fight in a movie ever.
Yeah, sure is.
This kid is scared to go back in, and then he accuses him of being a homosexual.
Yeah,
and then
is this also the scene where he's like, "What, are you afraid you're going to get mistaken for food or something like that?"
Maybe.
He says the dad says that at one point, and it's very strange because we are the food. It's not a mistake. That's what we are. I don't understand.
Then the kid says that the dad is dying of cancer and will be dead within 3 months.
Right.
But they drop it in such a way that you're like, I'm not even quite sure if that's
real.
True.
Yep, I have no idea if that's real or not. It's a weird way to say it if it is.
And then it never comes back, and the dad never says anything, and it's just like super weird.
Yeah, because here's the thing: is he does these things all the time. Like you said, he does Everest. He's done other adventures, so this isn't new. So he's not going through an end of life crisis. I think
he is, and that's what your movie should be saying. It's like, okay,
that's what it should be saying, but it's not saying that, Dan.
No, they don't say that. He doesn't give a little, yes, I'm on my tour of most dangerous things. The next time I'm going to try to assassinate, the king of India.
The Prime Minister of Malaysia, Dan.
Prime Minister of Malaysia.
I'm going to try to put that into every podcast from here on out. Zoolander, fuck the world.
Oh, yeah. So he's back in the cage. She's out there swimming with the shark. He just gets out of the cage.
Now, is that something that should be able to happen?
Yeah, it looks like the lock thing is loose enough that he could just do up there.
But I understand that it is. I'm saying, is that something that should be able to happen?
Well, I mean, you're not going to put a padlock on there and
I guess
lock him
in
there.
It's just weird that he can just decide to get out of all of this fighting of whether he needs to stay in the cage or not, and he can just leave anytime he wants. It feels weird to me.
Pretty much. So he gets out, and then the shark's about to attack him, and then she just goes like this.
Just touches his nose and guides him away.
Push your nose, and then the shark just leaves.
He's like, oh, cool. I feel that you're very calm through my nose, so I'll just swim away.
So they drag him out of the water, and then she's all like, we're done. And then the rich guy's like, Jeff assured me it would happen. I've got the text. And so he pulls out the text, and then she gets mad at Jeff because she sees the text.
And then
she says, I'm the shark whisperer. Stop using me to make money. And he's like, I took none of the money. I love you. And then she says, it's over. You won't see me. And then she's like, okay, let's go to the most dangerous place in the world for no reason.
It's the weirdest turn in the world. She's so mad about them wanting to do these shark things. And then all of a sudden she's just like, all right, fine, let's get sharks. What? Wait, what? What's happening?
I think this is the point at which she's decided she wants everyone to die.
That's what I'm saying. She is purposely killing these people because she's so annoyed at everybody. She's like, I'll be the only one that lives. Fuck them all.
That's the plot of this movie.
100%. But she doesn't get blamed at all. So
we get
no
to
consequences.
The big, beginning of the Act 3, which is to go to the most dangerous, go to Shark Alley. And there's no rationale for it.
Which is our protagonist's idea.
I mean, ostensibly, the rich guy is happy with where he's at, right?
He's having a great time right now. He's loving his life. He got out of the cage. He swam a bit. He's like, yeah, this is great. And she's like, let's go bigger, bitch.
And he's actually a little hesitant, right?
Of course he is, because that's crazy, Dan. They say it's the most dangerous place in the world. I don't know. I don't understand. It's so weird.
it'd be. I've never seen the movie Deer Hunter, but I think there's like a Russian roulette scene. I mean, you like do that. Where she's all like, "You want it? Okay, we're gonna do it." And then he's like, "Yeah, give it to me. Give me the worst you can."
He has to be on board. He has to be the one that's like pushing it. Instead, she's like, "All right, let's go see 50 sharks right now." And he's like, "Wait, I'm sorry. We got one shark. This is great.
We did good.
Let's stay here.
Let's let's just maybe go down and see that shark again."
No, we're going to drive 3 hours right now to give you as many sharks as you can handle. I don't. It's so bizarre.
So they're going to Shark Alley. It's wet and it's wild. The boat's like
it's wet and it's wild. Nobody checked the weather report, Dan.
No.
I mean, come on. Also, are we even gassed up to go this far? This was not part of our planned trip. This is a terrible idea.
And also, every goddamn motherfucking boat has a radio.
Yeah, it's a pretty important part of the
boat. Did they ever touch this radio to tell anybody where they were going?
No, and they didn't say, "Oh, our radio's busted." That's, easy fix. The boat's a piece of shit. Stuff fails all the time in the boat. They could just be like, "Oh, shoot, it's out of order."
Yeah, the rich guy goes crazy. He's like, "You're taking me out there." He takes the radio, he cracks it over his knee. You're gonna do it or I'll crush you.
And they're like, "Well, that was our only form of communication. We're doomed."
Nope. Never deal with communication, which they desperately need.
None whatsoever. Even Dan, I didn't even think about that while I was watching the movie. So thank goodness you're here.
Oh, the radio?
But later, the wife who's back on shore is like, this boat has gone missing. They've been gone too long. Somebody maybe call them. Give them.
She doesn't say I can't get in touch with them.
Yeah, no. She's just like, I haven't seen them in a while. Can you send someone out there? Oh my God.
More importantly, she's like, can you send someone out there? She doesn't know where they're at.
She has no idea where they're at. That's the whole point.
She would send them out to Seal Island.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
She doesn't know they're going to Shark Alley. It's
because
insane.
That was not the plan. But Halle Berry is crazy.
Yeah, she picks up the radio and she's like, "Okay, we're going out to Shark Alley." The woman on the you really think you should be doing that? She's all like,
"Come on,
we're going crazy. You don't tell me what to do." Cracks the radio over me.
Yeah, see, there you go. Full on crazy. That's what I want to see.
The kid's barfing. The boat breaks, even though we had just been explained that they fixed the entirety of the boat.
They fixed it. Now,
they didn't do anything to the boat.
Here's what gets even better, though, Dan. The rich guy's like, "Can't you just fix it?" And the boat guy, whose name none of us will ever remember,
I have it written down or something,
is basically like, "Yeah, okay, I'll just fix it right now. I'll replace all these lines and I'll fill this and do this and this. Yeah, I'll fix it right now." And then 4 minutes later, it's fixed.
He's just like, I was not being facetious. I really meant I was going to do all that.
I was just explaining to you what I was gonna do. It's so weird.
No, more importantly, we're about to start into the most. Hold on. Is this? Yeah, this is like my favorite action scene of the whole movie.
Okay, great.
So they're having problems with the boat, but what the problems they're having is the steering. The boat's like still going forward.
They're not slowing down.
Ostensibly, they're heading into rocks, or they don't pick up the radio to say, "Oh, we might be crashing into rocks." They're just like, So they're like,
but I don't understand. Why don't they just slow down?
I don't know.
Just throttle down. There's a thing on a boat. It's called a throttle. Just bring it down, guys. Just slow on down a little bit.
No, they're gonna ram into these
full
rocks.
Speed ahead.
But more importantly, they don't even say that there's rocks that they're gonna ram into. They just sort of say we're going into the shallows or something. Yeah, they don't even really say what's wrong.
Yeah.
And then they have to bring out this manual rudder thing, tiller, and then I don't think they even get that installed when then the boat starts working.
Well, because then he goes, it's fixed. It's just so weird.
You're so confused. You can't feel any tension because you're just like, what is happening?
What? Yeah, and why is it even in there if there's nothing that's going to happen? What is the point of the boat breaking if he's just going to fix it 8 seconds later? That's not a scene. That's not a scene I need to see. Just give me point A, point B. You're at Shark Alley. That's all I need, guys.
So then the rich guy apologizes, talks about how he left his buddy up on Everest and he's still frozen up there.
That's
and
right.
What is Halle Berry's reaction to this moving story?
I don't think she cares. I don't remember her saying anything.
She has no reaction whatsoever.
Because he's trying to relate to her because he's like, oh, I know your friend, your dad / lover / friend died.
I think she's had a psychotic break.
Sure. Yeah.
She's had a psychotic break because I worked with a guy once who had a psychotic break, and he would turn into.
You're not supposed to air our dirty laundry to all of the people out there.
This guy, really good guy, but I really think he went through a psychotic break because he became like a robot. He stopped having emotions.
Oh no!
Like just for like a period, not forever.
Sure, not forever. Yeah.
But he went through some stuff, and like he.
Oh, that's really sad. But he bounced back eventually?
Yes. But It was really weird because you were just... I used to call him when he turned into that evil robot because he became like an evil robot.
Not to his face though, right?
No.
Okay.
And, it was scary because you were just like, you were like...
Is he going to snap?
He could pull out a knife and just knife you and he's like, I don't care that you're bleeding.
Sorry.
You probably deserved it. And I probably did deserve knowing me, I definitely deserved it.
I mean, let's call a spade here, Dan. You deserved a little bit of a knifing.
She apologizes to Jeff at this point for, I have no idea.
For unknown reasons. Yeah.
And then... they throw the anchor. They get in the wetsuits. Another nice scene of people putting on wetsuits.
So many wetsuits,
and then
it doesn't have the same draw as it does in the Paul Walker Jessica Alba movie. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
Think of how beautiful he made Jessica Alba look in that movie,
and Paul Walker.
And Paul
they're both beautiful people to begin with, so he probably didn't have to do that much work.
Halle Berry's beautiful. If you can't make her beautiful in a movie,
you're doing something wrong.
And then she's like, oh, come on, tough guy, let's go in. And he's like, oh, let's just start in a cage. And you're like, she's got a death wish. Yeah, she definitely had a psychotic break.
She's trying to get him killed, too. It's not just a death wish. She doesn't want to die. She wants to kill this man.
It's like a murder package. Into the water, there's big sharks down there. It's dark.
A bunch of them.
Got like a tiny
little flashlight.
Tiny pen.
Like one of those keychain flashlights that you twist on. You're like, okay.
Did I ever tell you about my flashlight story, Tony?
I would assume no. This is a perfect time.
So I was in the Galapagos Islands, which I'd already mentioned, on one of the islands.
I'm starting to think that this trip is fictitious. Okay,
absolutely true. There's like these lava tunnels because the Galapagos are like lava. At one point, that you go to the one thing that's all lava, and it's just like black lava for miles.
Oh my god,
that was really cool.
That sounds awesome.
You do not want to trip or have bare feet when you're walking on that lava; it cuts you up. So there's like the underground lava tube, and they're all like, I'm like they're by myself because I'm fucking psycho, and I'm like, oh, they're like it's like a half-mile hike through the lava tube. I'm like, oh, that sounds cool. And they're like, you can rent a flashlight. And I'm like, oh no, I have my little flashlight. That's like, like this big with two little double A's. I'm like,
of course.
I got it covered.
I'm all set, guys.
I'm not spending extra money on a flashlight, which was probably like 13 cents or something.
Yeah. Too much.
Get down in there, boop, 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 hiking my flashlight.
Yeah.
Zero.
Oh, it didn't do the flashing thing? Because that's what they do in movies. And then you hit it. Try to do it. Yeah.
Just like dimmer, doom.
Oh, no.
I'm underground in a tunnel.
Oh, my God.
You can't see anything.
Yeah. There's no light, Dan.
There's no light because it goes down and you're under. And I'm so like, and then I crawled.
Oh, my God.
All the way through this tunnel. There could have been all sorts of terrible things down there to kill me. But my thinking was, it's dark down there, so, nothing that bad's going to live down there because, it's dark.
I think that's wrong, Dan.
So that's a point at which I like, kind of one of those, tests you have in life where you're like, how panicky are you?
Yeah.
Nah, didn't panic at all.
Honestly, not panicky enough, Dan. I mean, I'll tell you right now, there was shit right around your head that was about to kill you the whole way. And you were just like, well, that's cool. I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah,
you were so close to death.
If I'd have heard one of those, fungus monsters from, this is a...
like, oh my God!
I'd have been like, bah! Actually, I would have just crawled faster. I wouldn't have tried to run because
that's
knew
how you
you're
die.
gonna
If you run, you trip and you're dead for sure. I mean, but that's also kind of a bummer because then you didn't get to see any of the fun cave.
Well, it was just rocks. It's just rocks. It's because the first half of it I saw it. It was just rocks. It was cool, super cool. But and then I crawled out the other side and I was like, that was an experience.
Thank goodness you didn't run into any stalagmites, and just impale yourself.
Okay. Okay. Here we are. Big sharks, flashlight. Then the anchor is pulling free, and the guy that runs the boat's like, we got to turn the thing into the waves. And then they try and...
Dan, back to the radio. Because right now what's happening is the storm is out of control.
Yeah.
And he's worried that if they don't turn into the waves, they're going to tip over.
Not just worried about it. Yeah.
Nobody ever called them. Nobody ever sent out an SOS.
No.
Nothing?
No.
I don't understand this movie.
So... they try to pull up the cage, and of course, then the winch fails, and the cage
is
falls.
stuck. Whatever.
There's huge waves. Of course, when they're down under there, and they look up at the perfectly flat surface of the water.
Totally fine. No one under the water is any of the wiser that there's a huge storm, hurricane happening, and their boat's about to tip over.
Cage falls. The ship turns over. The ship sinks. The kid's inside there with air.
Yeah.
And then the pilot guy is on the bottom.
And then here's the thing. Yeah. The boat tips over. Right?
180 degrees. Yeah.
Nobody under the water panics. No. They just kind of swim to the surface and they're like, oh boy, look at this. Where is everybody? Speaking of people staying calm under pressure, Dan, these people are cool as cucumbers that their only mode of transportation is now sinking to the bottom of the ocean.
So, the guy that runs the boat is Tommy.
Tommy.
She helps get Tommy on the boat. Then Jeff helps the rich guy, I guess, out of the cage and gets him on the boat.
Yeah.
And then Halle Berry swims under there, somebody gets some rope. And then she spends 10 minutes searching this boat, which is, I don't know.
Not very big.
1 foot by 1 foot, essentially.
It's basically 2 rooms.
Can't find the kid. This is her
nowhere
boat.
To be found.
She knows exactly where this boat is, how big this boat is. Should be able to search every area of the boat. Can't find the kid who's under there.
Kid's gone. Kid is gone.
No, he's not gone.
He's gone.
He can't find her.
She swam around the boat. The kid's gone. All right. There's nowhere he's hiding. Now, did she tie Tommy to the boat?
Yeah.
Is that what happens?
She sort of tied to. I mean, it's implied that she was going to tie him to the boat.
Okay.
Doesn't really do it.
Well, they do it enough because he gets. I'll save that for a second. But
so then she's like, "Okay, I got to go find the life raft. Got a life raft, no radio. Life raft, no radio. Life raft.
But there's got to be a beacon on it, right?
I think it does beep. I think it does.
Okay.
Beep. Yeah,
okay. At least there's that.
The dad then sort of swims off looking for Luke, I think, sort of. He's like,
They hear the sun somehow over the storm and the waves, and he swims towards the sun, and then the Frenchman swims as well.
Then Tommy gets his legs bit off, right?
Yeah, because he's tied to the boat, so the shark grabs him, and instead of pulling him under the water, just chews him in half, which I thought was pretty cool.
He's like, I'm so cold.
Never let go, Jack.
And then I think at some point the son gets to the boat, and then I think the rich dad just sort of like puts himself out there as a decoy. Is that why he goes out in the wide open ocean? It's just like going swim, like this.
Him and the Frenchman swim to get the son, who's down the river, and then the Frenchman swims the son back, and the dad is having like trouble breathing. He's like, just go. And the Frenchman brings the kid back, and the dad is like having a heart attack or something.
Oh,
he just can't swim.
Say that we're just supposed to figure it out.
Yeah, he's having trouble swimming back to the boat after he swam out to get his son. So he's like struggling out in the ocean or something. Yeah. I don't know.
So he gets chomped, and he doesn't talk. He doesn't say anything. He's like, you're out there dying, and you don't go like, I love you, son.
I love you. I'm so sorry I was a dickhead for all your life.
I shouldn't have called you a puff. Do your photography. You're
I love your Canon 5D, son.
Let's talk about your Canon D. Let's connect over your Canon D a little more before I die.
What lens do you have? Is it a 70? It's fine. 70 to 200 is, by the way, it looks like what he's got.
And then Kate has to sort of stare down a shark to get the lifeboat, but nothing really happens.
Yeah, no.
And then Jeff saves someone, and then somebody embraces, and then they're in the life raft the next day, and the helicopter.
But let's talk.
I was stunned that they actually had a helicopter. I really thought they were going to just give us a helicopter sound effect.
That's what you should have done because it was unnecessary. If I hear the helicopter, I get it. I don't need to see. You don't need to spend money on that. Spend money on some of the other movie to make it a little bit better. You don't need to spend money on a helicopter.
Buy them a radio for their ship.
Buy some means of communication with somebody. What I will say, and I didn't know this was a thing, but the life raft has like a canopy on it so that you don't get sunburned.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, it's too bad Oliver Queen didn't have that.
What?
That is an Arrow reference, Dan. Naomi told me not to say the joke, but I had to say it.
Well, it's not a joke.
It is a joke. It's the television show Arrow, Dan. And they are on a life raft just like this, and there's no canopy, and the dad dies because he's so sun-dried. But if they had a canopy, everything would have been fine.
I think you need to take your wife's edits because... Oh, Jesus.
I said it during the movie, and it killed in the room. I'll tell you that.
I doubt that.
She did. She laughed.
She did laugh?
Well, we've both seen Arrow. We love Arrow.
God.
So she got the joke, and I was like, she saw me write down. She's like, are you writing that down? I was like, yeah. She said, has Dan seen Arrow? I was like, no, but he'll get it.
No, I know what you were saying. I assumed it was some terrible TV show bullshit.
Oh,
I know who Oliver Queen is.
Of course you do. Well, you know him from the comic books.
Yeah, from the real text.
From the real to the text. Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk about Roald Dahl. Have you heard about the whole Roald Dahl thing?
Oh, no, I have. What's going on with him? Is he dead? He's dead, right?
Super dead.
He wrote a lot of books a long time ago. What could be possibly happening with him?
We'll do that in 1 second. And then voiceover, more underwater shots of sharks. They go on to make their movie.
It's almost the same voiceover as it was in the beginning, right?
It absolutely was. It was done at the same time. It was like we got 1 day booked. We're going to do the voiceovers this day while you're still here in South Africa. There's one place you can do it. They get her in there for like 2.5 hours, and they do the voiceovers.
So now they finish their movie and they go diving. What does she say? She spent. I forgot what they said, but they had like some really cool dive that they got to do, and they filmed it and all this stuff. And I'm just confused, Dan.
Yeah.
One, let's just look at her psyche to begin with. Her friend.
Now we're gonna delve into her psyche at this point.
I have to just for a second.
Okay.
So the movie starts. Her friend dies from a shark attack.
True.
She doesn't swim with sharks for a year after that. Right?
And she has a psychotic break.
And she has a psychotic break over it. Now, she led innocent people into getting murdered on her. She 100% is culpable about it. Like, this is her fault.
This is 100%
she murders
her.
a bunch of people, and
100%.
She doesn't care at all?
No.
Now she's like, yeah, I love swimming with sharks. Fuck, man. They did a good deed for me, and they killed this guy that I didn't like very much.
Yeah, because Tommy's dead. Huh.
It's so weird. Oh, yeah, that's right. Tommy's dead. Another one of her friends died, and she didn't care at all.
Not at all.
And on top of that, how is she not in jail? Or getting sued by the kid?
Because he signed a release. The dad said no release.
Oh, boy.
And Tommy was an orphan.
He doesn't have a mother? This poor kid. Oh, that's who's on Everest is the wife, huh?
I said Tommy's an orphan.
Oh, Tommy. Oh, I'm sorry.
God,
okay, got it. The kid that got chopped in half.
Yes,
he's an orphan.
Tommy.
But how is the young kid not suing? You know what I'm saying?
For what? Mental distress?
I don't know. There's no way that in the contract they signed it covers her leading them to their doom on purpose. There has to be a loophole in that contract he signed that she can be held accountable.
Maybe.
There's zero consequences to this movie.
That is true.
That's all. I don't know.
Oh, so the Roald Dahl thing is, do you know who Roald Dahl is?
Yeah, he wrote a bunch of bullshit. Yeah.
So Netflix owns the Roald Dahl estate, and they've gone into some of the books and like cleaned up certain things, and sort of made them a little more palatable.
My God. Okay.
They like took the word fat out of there, when they're just referring to general people, and the stuff's pretty pedestrian. But everybody on the what's that called? The social media.
Yeah, social media.
You can't censor anything, blah, 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 blah. And, the thing is, yeah, they absolutely can because they own it.
Right, yeah, it's within their rights. Okay.
Yeah, it's totally within their rights.
Yeah.
And these aren't kids' books,
But Matilda's a kid's book, right? Or are you saying they are kids' books?
They are kids' books.
I see what you're saying.
And it's funny because I was having the argument with Shannon, and she's all like, "You don't see them doing that to Mein Kampf." I'm like, what are you talking about? But it's so funny because other people in some of these arguments brought up Mein Kampf, and they brought up like Shakespeare. And you're like, anybody could go in there and do whatever edits they want to Shakespeare anytime they want.
We probably should edit some Shakespeare because some of it's pretty fucked up. But I will say, like, I don't know, that sounds pretty dumb. Why? I don't know.
I mean, they want them to be a little more palatable because, and the other thing is, and then it comes out that, then other people are like, Roald Dahl was a giant anti-Semite. And you're just like, oh my God.
Was he though? Oh, he was?
Well, huge self-admitted it, they say.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
And so it's so funny when you get these punditry arguments where everybody's like, I'm outraged. We must protect the Roald Dahl. And it's like, so you got to protect the thoughts of a guy that was an anti-Semite. You're just like, there's so many levels to everything.
Yeah. I mean,
everybody just wants to argue about everything.
That is correct.
It's been really enjoyable watching that.
Here's what I'll say, Dan.
What are you going to say, Tony?
I read those books. I turned out fine. Do we really need to change them?
There it is.
I mean, I don't care. I honestly don't care either way. You do you. But I don't know.
So this is the point of the show where we talk about something.
No, wait, Dan. I had one more thing. You didn't ask. You usually say, is there anything else you want to say? There's one thing I want to say, Dan. The tagline to this movie. Do you know what it is?
You mean like on the poster? Like
on the poster, the tagline of the film is, and I quote, "In Shark Alley, courage runs deep." Where did that happen? In Shark Alley, Halle Berry murders all of the people. That's what the tagline should be. What courage? Whose courage here? She did this to herself. Stupid. These people should be fired.
This is the point of the show where we talk about something we like this week. Girl Scout cookies are back.
Oh, shit, are they really?
So we go over there. Girl Scout cookies now $6 a box, which is like whatever.
I mean, we're just going to keep jacking up the price.
It's like my favorite cookie. So we go there and I'm like, okay, I want 3 boxes of the Do-si-dos. And then Shannon wants a box of the lemons. And I'm like, okay, we'll get one more and that'll be
tagalongs. It's got to be tagalongs.
Wait, what happened? No, wait, we're getting 4 boxes. So we get 4 boxes. That's $24, right?
Okay.
She gets the lemons, and then I get my 3 peanut butter cookies, peanut butter Do-si-dos, which are my favorite cookies in the world.
They're so good.
And the little girl's like, "Do you want to add another box and make it 30?" And I'm like, "Oh, a deal." I'm like, so I add a Thin Mints. Then we're walking away, and I'm like, "Wait, that's not a deal."
That's not a deal. She just rounded up for you.
She just like she upsold me without giving me a deal.
Would you like to double your amount of boxes for double the price, or what do you think?
So there it is. I got outsmarted by a Girl Scout. So sad.
She's gonna brag about that to her troop.
Stupid idiot. Took him down for another 6.
Oh my God.
I gotta find a Girl Scout. That sounded weird.
Oh my God, look at that outfit.
I'm wearing a hat.
Yeah, but look at your outfit.
Look at my outfit, Tony.
Oh.
Tony thought I looked good.
Oh my God.
He wanted to see the pink shirt.
You kind of match.
Pink shirt.
I'm matchy.
The pink. What? No.
A little bit.
No. Look at that outfit. What will Todd think?
Todd's going to be upset.
Okay.
He's going to write some comments. I'll tell you that right now.
He's going to put us on blast. Or at least put me on blast. You haven't seen how terrible Tony looks. Terrible. Tony
What are you
always
talking
looks
about? I
10 times more
showered
terrible
right
than me.
before this, Dan. I'm wearing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt. Matches
He
my
never wears the
lights in the
same shirt.
background. I'm crushing it today. I'm on fire.
So, Tony, what did you like this week?
Two things. I want to talk about two things. The
Ooh.
first thing is there's some music that came out. It's called Baku's Revenge. It's a good album. You should all check it out if you like pop punk. But what I want to talk about is a new Netflix show that came out. It's a new dating reality show. So Naomi and I are obsessed with reality dating shows right now. And this new one's called Perfect Match. And what it does is it takes cast members from all the other Netflix dating shows and puts them together in like an all-star kind of show, except for whatever the opposite of an all-star, because they're all the shitty ones that you don't like and they cause drama. They're like the bench players that think they should be starters, but they're not. Anyhow, this show is great. It's full of drama, and we're having a blast. It's called Perfect Match. Just check it out, guys. Just check it out. It's fun.
So normally at this point of the show, we pick our next movie, but we already picked our next movie.
Todd picked our next movie.
Todd pick coming in hot. We're doing Bolt Neck with which is available free on YouTube, so everybody can go out and watch it. And
good. Ryan Reynolds, one of the Lawrence brothers. This is gonna be good. I'm excited.
And then Tony's gonna pick us something new for next week.
Yeah, strap in. It's gonna be a real treat. I can feel it already.
Have you already decided what it is?
No, I don't think about it till the morning of usually.
It's too far ahead. Tony.
Yeah, I like to keep it fresh, Dan. Keep it fresh.
Fresh and fancy free. That's our Tony. So
fancy free.
So that was Dark Tide. Don't watch it. It's terrible.
No, this is a bad one. This is a bad one.
This goes way up there. You know, this level of drama, like just about zero.
just about zero. Yeah.
You know, some nice underwater photography, and that's about all this movie had going for.
Yeah. What else do you need though? And the answer is a script and some acting and some drama.
Yeah. So we'll be back next week with Bolt Neck, and if you like our show, give us a thumbs up, leave us a comment, or maybe subscribe. And I'm burping, doing horrible burping.
Yeah, you're really ruining this wrap up. It was such a smooth show up until now. People are they're not going to like and subscribe anymore. They're like, you know what, this guy's not good.
He went on this burping tear.
It's so offensive.
So disgusting. I was going to tell a funny story, but Santa will kill me. So we'll be back next week, and we'll see you then, maybe.
Goodbye, everybody.